should Americans expect? How long should we be bracing for this really sort of historic inflation and some unprecedented gas prices?
In terms of the discussions that the President, Johannes, and I had, they ranged in subject, including the issue of the Black Sea, and I'll let him explain in more detail as he would like.
She goes
on to say, just look at the map.
It was a heart-stopping moment. She was asked about gasoline prices and inflation in America, and she tried to defer to President Duda, the Polish president.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and let me tell you about Stephen Miller. He's an alt-right Nazi who got picked on relentlessly as a child. I don't know how else you can explain this vile human being. He's so vile that his own uncle had to come out in public record and say that the Miller family wants nothing to do with Stephen. Well, maybe not the entire family. I hear he still is on his parents' cell phone plan. A senior White House official on his parents' cell phone plan for texting and free nights and weekends. Folks, you just can't make this stuff up.
She was asked about gasoline prices and inflation in America, and she tried to defer to President Duda, the Polish president. I mean, it is truly horrifying to think that the Vice President of the United States lacks confidence so extremely on our domestic issues that she wants the President of Poland to discuss our gas prices.
Stephen Miller is what you get when you go fishing in the swamp. So it's no surprise that the Orange Swamp Master himself wants to keep Stephen around for his bidding. Trump and Stephen Miller fear powerful women. Shocker, right? So they do their best to try and paint Kamala Harris in a very negative light. So he had his team splice video together and claimed that the Vice President avoided questions on American issues and deferred them to the President of Poland. Only one problem is that Vice President Kamala Harris did answer the questions, and it wasn't even the President of Poland. It was the President of Romania. What a nitwit. It's great to see these right-wing neo-Nazi hacks fall flat on their face like Miller just did. But what it's going to take to render these fools extinct from our so-called journalism and from our politics. Doesn't it strike people as a little questionable when these people paint such a stark picture of duality? Look through every printed or spoken word of this jackaloon like Stephen Miller, and you won't find one hint of criticism or accountability against Trump. Take a real close look, and you'll find that he's nothing short of idealizing Trump as holy, immaculate, and capable of walking on water. Meanwhile, a Democrat saying hello is all part of this well-conceived evil plot to annihilate existence. These people are an absolute cartoon of partisan altar worship. It's sick, and it's everything that's wrong with American politics. The sad thing, Stephen Miller is not going away. In fact, he's getting stronger because we have American oligarchs who thrive when our country is fed this filth that Stephen and company keep pushing. And so they keep bankrolling him to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. They want to install their partisan lackeys in offices where they can simply pick their election winners and disregard the popular vote. Isn't that the height of political crime right there? They have a choice before them, and they actually choose to dig deeper into shameless partisan tactics that are completely void of honesty and integrity. Tactics that embody everything that is disgusting in a politician. To retire these jackaloons, we need an injection of common sense. What Stephen Miller comes up with an insult against intelligence like these and clearly reveals himself for who he is, which is a partisan stooge, that man should feel the consequences. Nobody should be dumb enough to buy his articles. Nobody should be dumb enough to fall for his cons. If you want a litmus test for a bad politician, Miller just offered one that's crystal clear. Don't allow this kind of cronyism. You've heard of country over party, but do you really know what that means? Do you know how to apply that metric? Because if you don't see through the hollow con like this example, you're overdue for an eye exam. Let's take back our politics, back from these extremists by calling them out and roasting their hides like they deserve. Like this video and follow this page because we've got near endless string of these vermin to cut down. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.